The global economy is where the economies of individual countries are linked to each other and where changes in one economy may have a ripple effect on others due to this linkage. This is represented through the swapping and collecting of trading cards in the playground. Welcome to the School of Economies. At school during their lunch breaks, the students like to collect and trade different types of trading cards. In this school, there are 5 groups of students. These groups are the red group, the blue group, the orange group, the green group, and the purple group. Globalization refers to the integration between different economies and the increased impact of international influences on all aspects of life and economic activity. Much like the global economies, these 5 different groups are becoming more integrated and reliant on each other in order to obtain trading cards. The major indicators of integration between economies are international trade, international finance flows, international investment flows, and transnational corporations, technology, transport and communication, and movement of labour. Trade in goods and services. International trade in goods and services is an important indicator of globalisation because it is a measure of how goods and services produced in an economy are consumed by other economies worldwide. Trade in goods and services has grown rapidly in recent decades. It has increased from $8.7 trillion in 1990 to $40.8 trillion in 2009. The large amount of global trade reflects the fact that these economies do not produce all the items they need or are not as efficient as other countries in the production of these items. Therefore, they have to import many goods in order to facilitate demand. This can be seen in the schoolyard in the trading of cards. These groups must trade their cards in order to collect all of their cards that they desire. These groups aren't able to collect all of these cards within these small groups, therefore they must trade in order to add to their collection. The direction of trade flows has changed in recent decades, reflecting the changing importance of different economic regions. Trade used to mainly involve the USA and Europe, but between 1995 to 2009, trade with these economies dropped from 82% to 70% due to the increased influence from Asia, whereas the group of China, Indonesia and Vietnam went from 7% to 14%. This would be like the powerful blue group trading with the increasingly powerful green group due to their increasing trading power, rather than trading with the red group as previously done. Financial flows. Finance has a leading role in the global economy. Finance is crucial to many aspects of how modern economies work. Financial flows have expanded substantially following financial deregulation in the 1970s to 1980s, as exchange-traded derivatives grew to $58 billion in 2010. In the playground, this can be seen if the red group was to trade cards with the orange group to trade these newly obtained cards with another group like the green group, in order to obtain a specific card from this group. Investment and transnational corporations. Another indicator of globalization is the rapid growth of investment between countries over the past 2 decades. This can be seen in foreign direct investment and portfolio investment. Transnational corporations are global companies that dominate global product and factor markets. This will be like a member from the orange group becoming friends with a member from the green group. These members would share cards with each other, hoping for returns. This allows for more cards to flow throughout these 2 groups without these whole groups dealing with each other directly. Technology, transport and communications. Technology plays a crucial role in globalization. This is because technological developments facilitate the integration of economies and facilitate greater trade. Developments in new technology may be seen by the introduction of a new trading card into the playground. This may be the introduction of Yu-Gi-Oh trading cards into the playground rather than increasingly aging and more common Pokemon cards. This will facilitate greater trade in between these groups due to this new technological innovation. International division of labour and migration. Labour does not move around the world as quickly as finance, investment and goods. Labour is more often shifted towards high-income economies. This may be like a member from the purple group abandoning their group in order to become friends with a member from the orange group, in order to have a greater role in trading. This is much like the migration of many African workers to European countries. These group members may not be able to move freely between groups due to friendship barriers and group dynamics, much like migration restrictions. Free trade can be defined as a situation where governments impose no artificial barriers to trade that restrict the free exchange of goods and services between countries, with the aim of shielding domestic producers from foreign competition. Free trade is based on comparative advantage. The principle of comparative advantage is that even if one country can produce all goods more efficiently than the other country, trade will still benefit both countries if they each specialise in one area in which it has comparative advantage. In the playground, this can be seen if the green group were to specialise in the trading of football cards, and if, say, the red group were to specialise in the trading of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because they have a larger supply and are able to gain access to these cards easier than other groups. Advantages and disadvantages of free trade. Advantages of free trade. Free trade allows countries to obtain goods they may not be able to produce themselves. Free trade allows countries the efficient allocation of resources, improved international competition. Free trade also leads to higher living standards. Disadvantages of free trade. Free trade causes an increase in short-term unemployment. It may be difficult to establish new businesses and new industries if they are not protected from foreign competitors. Production from some countries may be dumped. Free trade may encourage environmentally irresponsible production methods. Protection refers to government policies that give domestic producers an artificial advantage over foreign competitors, such as tariffs on imported goods. This can be seen in the playground by students from the red group not accepting trades from the green group, even though the green group offers better trades. Reasons for protection. Infant industries. New industries or groups face many difficulties and risks in the first few years, and these industries or groups need protection in early years to allow them to grow in order to compete. Prevention of dumping. Dumping is the practice of exporting goods to a country at a price lower than their selling price in the country of origin. Larger groups may dump unwanted or fake cards on smaller groups. Protection of domestic employment. If local producers are protected from cheaper foreign competitors, the demand for local goods will rise, therefore domestic employment and group sizes may rise. Defense and self-sufficiency. Protection may not only be for economic reasons. It may be for reasons such as defense. For example, major powers generally want to keep their own defense industry so they aren't reliant on other countries for weapons, just like students having big kids in their groups to protect them. Countries have recently formed agreements and trading alliances to ensure they are in the best possible position for trade opportunities. These trade agreements may be bilateral or multilateral. A trading bloc occurs when a number of countries join together in a formal preferential trading agreement to the exclusion of other countries. Preferential trade agreements are formal agreements between countries designed to break down barriers of trade between those nations. The types of trading blocs include a preferential trading area, a free trade area, a customs union, a common market, and an economic union. Two of the most important trading blocs are the European Union and the North American Free Trade Agreement. International organizations. The World Trade Organization. The role of the World Trade Organization is to implement and advance the global trade agreements and to resolve trade disputes between economies. In the playground, the World Trade Organization may be represented by a teacher or principal of the school. If the students in these groups engage in arguments and were not getting along, the teacher may engage in a discussion to resolve these disputes. These discussions may resolve these issues and trade can continue. The International Monetary Fund is one of the most important institutions in the global economy. It has 187 member nations. Its role is to maintain international financial stability, particularly in relation to foreign exchange markets. The World Bank. The World Bank's role in the global economy is primarily concerned with helping poorer nations with their economic development. The World Bank's focus is to fund investment in infrastructure and reduce poverty. The World Bank can be represented in the trading of cards by a parent buying a student from a large group below trading power of the green group a particular packet of trading cards. This would be an injection of cards into their group and give that group a chance to trade. Government economic forums are organisations which exist as forums for world leaders to meet and coordinate policies between major economies. The group of 8 nations includes the largest industrialised nations of the US, UK, France, Germany, Canada, Japan, Italy and Russia. The G8 is effectively the economic council of the world's wealthiest nations. It has often included issues such as climate change, global poverty and security. The group of 20 nations includes the members of the G8 and many developing economies. The G20 also assumed a key role during the financial crisis when it forged an agreement on dealing with the recession. These government economic forums may be represented in the school playground through meetings held with high-powered groups in order to discuss issues and potential issues in the trading of footy cards.